River City something or whatever, but it's a nice little joint. It has a chance, I think.
All right, hey everybody, we are live. We're going to share this video to our Facebook pages. Chris is busy doing that, I think.
I'm trying.
I'm going to try to share it to mine while the camera girl zooms in on the man who was the most popular Kansas City quarterback in recent memory until this year. And now we know that honor belongs to Mr. Patrick Mahomes.
Pat.
All right. I'm going to try to share this, you guys. I don't know why. It just wants to go. Here we go. Right.
I got mine shared on
We're
it.
You're doing Twitter or Facebook?
I did Facebook, but let me do Twitter now.
You can do Twitter. That's a good idea. We'll get
Twitter's good.
I think they say Twitter's, for active, but I think a lot of people get on Facebook like 9 or something like that.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, is that the rules, Mr. Social Media
It's not the rules, but
guy?
many consultants will say this first.
Yeah. This
Very
just wants
important
me
people.
Yeah. I don't know why it won't let me get to my personal page. You know what? It just wants me to post on the landmark page for some reason. So I'll just do that. Copy the link. Again, guys, we're going to be live with Jay Binkley here in just a minute. Jay Binkley of 610 Sports. Yes!
Maybe.
We gave Bing some buttons to push, so.
Oh, now he's... Get ready to talk sports with us, guys.
No.
Okay. We're ready. We're ready.
Do it.
Let's start this show, you guys. Hey, everybody, it's Landmark Live. We are back. Chris Kamler, Ivan Foley, and our special guest, Jay Binkley of 610 Sports. Welcome in, Mr. Jay Binkley, buddy.
No.
He's here and he's discovered our
We're
yes,
terrible.
no, and maybe.
Terrible
You know what I like?
mistake that was.
I like this
Yeah, hit
barrel.
that one
I
there.
like the pumpkin.
Little
I mean, this is
pumpkin
clearly-
pie
pumpkin's
This is
great.
clearly a October show,
I love it.
It is fall.
so
And
it's
look,
not tape delayed. You know, we didn't
Hey,
do this like September.
before,
or anything. This is
before we get
really October.
started, if you're not aware, we were talking phones earlier.
Yes.
Kanye West visited the president today, and there is a tight shot of him clearing the passcode on his phone. Do you know what Kanye West's passcode is yet?
What was it?
I do not.
Okay, just guess. Let's say it was 5 numbers.
Well, you try to make it as simple as possible. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
It's a good guess.
I was going to go 69, but that's only 4 numbers.
0 0 0 0 0
That's
0 0
pretty-
0
That's pretty hardcore.
That's
All
my
right.
current events.
You know what though? You know what? It's simple though. I like keeping things simple.
He put a lot of thought into that one, didn't he?
I mean, why not? I mean, you know.
Hey guys, welcome in. We're going to talk a lot of football tonight with our buddy Bink. He joined us on the season opener like a month ago, wasn't it, Bink? And
It was. You know what though? It was right. Platte County was playing Kearney that week, I believe.
Okay.
So it was like week 3 of the high school football season. So
here
yeah,
we are.
I think Platte City's not lost since.
I know. We're going to talk a little bit Platte County Pirates. Let's do that right now. Get that out of the way because the
Platte
Pirates
County.
have been winning late.
Yeah.
The last 2 weeks they were behind 27-0 against Smithville. Came back 28 unanswered points, won 28-27. And then last week they were down late, like a minute 40, had to drive 80 yards, scored on the last play of regulation to bring them within 1. And then ballsy Coach Oots goes for 2 with no time remaining.
I like that.
That was a great call.
You know what? They played a school two classes bigger in Class 6. They're currently, I think, 5th in Class 4 in the state of Missouri. They've been on a roll. They're only lost to Kearney, which Kearney's going to loom out there as a team that they have to beat because Platte County's been taking those steps, playoffs, going to the 3rd round at least in 15 and 16. Then last year making all the way to the semifinals in a great game against, I think it was Webb City last year in the semifinals. They're taking these steps in building that program. But yeah, the Kearney was their only loss, and they've rattled off, 4 or 5 straight wins since that Kearney game. So yeah, things are going well, and they're playing teams in bigger classes as well.
They've got Winnetonka this weekend.
Winnetonka this
that
weekend.
shouldn't be a problem for a team like Platte County. And then I think they finished with Grandview, and Grandview gave Northtown a run for their money early in the season. But I think that's also a winnable game for Platte County.
Home of
Home
Plays
of-
for the Chiefs. Xavier Williams.
Oh, Xavier. Yeah.
Oh,
He played
Xavier
at Grandview,
Williams.
yeah.
Okay, well, there
Local
you go.
guy did well.
Yeah.
Local guy did well. But yeah, Platte County, I love it. I like to see him do well. I've always liked that stadium out there. I've always told you it's one of my favorite. I think USA Today or somebody did the top 20 high school stadiums in the country, and it made its way on that list.
Yeah,
Of course,
that's
these
awesome.
Texas palaces dominated, but
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and all those ones they're building in Liberty that are
That's right.
seat 80,000 people and stuff.
with
so.
the orange seats, I mean, come on,
Good
I
stuff.
love that
Well,
stuff.
see, with these two recent late victories, we're going to call them the Cardiac Kids, right?
That's
Very
fine.
good. Platte
You
County
gotta do
Pirates,
it, yeah.
Cardiac Kids. There you go. They can
Just
take that and
teams
run
taking
with it.
steps, man. They're doing it
T-shirts,
against
man, let's do
bigger
it. Get some
classes
Get some
and
T-shirts,
stuff
man.
like
You
this.
can credit Landmark Live if you want, or
Get
don't. I don't
believe,
care.
but they
Believe,
get orange and
believe
black.
with a yeah, we'll figure that out.
The
Maybe
Cardiac
With
Kids.
the pirate.
The Pirates. Yeah. So, and we had Coach Utes on last year. Remember that, Chris?
Love that guy.
Yeah, he was
yeah,
good too.
Got
We had
to
a lot
call
of
a
fun
couple of
with
his
him.
games, and it's
I
a
met him
lot of
before
fun.
the Carney game a couple years ago. That's class act.
Yeah, he's very classy, and he didn't even mind when Chris and I got stupid, so we like that about him.
Yeah, that's
No,
nice.
we get
Yeah.
stupid a lot.
So, but anyway, well, you've been following any other high school sports, man?
You know, not as much as I used to do. Obviously, with the Royals commitment, it kind of changed. I'm doing a game in November. I think November 2nd. It's a playoff game, so I'm getting my feet wet back doing high school football. But heck, I've been doing high school football since like '98 and love it.
Yeah.
I love the Friday nights. I think there was a book, Things to Do as Sports Fans Before You Die, and one of the things was pick a high school team wherever you live. Maybe it was the high school you went to. If you grew up in a different area, you pick a high school, you go every week. Home and road. I mean, think about it. You can get anywhere in the city.
Yep.
$20 gets you and a couple kids in, and a drink, a hot dog, whatever it is. But there's nothing like Friday Night Lights.
Yeah, awesome. Chris, you've been doing. Tell us about your high school sports season so far.
I have, yeah. I've and I'm doing some college stuff too. But yeah, I've been doing. They put me in Kansas quite a bit at the beginning of the season, and then last week I got to do my
I'd
alma
put you in
mater.
North Dakota, but it's-
You're right, exactly. Last week I got to do my alma mater and got to see some great football. Northtown's undefeated this year. And,
How about that team, man? How about that Price?
Yeah,
That running back, this
CJ
kid.
Price. So CJ Price is he leads in rushing and touchdowns, not just for Missouri, but he has double the numbers of anybody in Kansas. He's going to play on Sundays, and then the kid who's already signed with Northwestern. I'm gonna botch his name again. I botched it about 20 times. He's a defensive end. I mean, I can't even remember it. Umbasumba Dambasumba something.
It's
but,
Leon Douglas. You know, it's a tough district where he plays and a tough conference. But this year he's found the magic, and I think Price. And who knows where he plays at the next level? Because I know that they're looking at linebacker. You know, a lot of his college list. A lot of it was, Missouri Valley type schools
Right.
like FCS. But that'll probably change. I mean,
yeah, I think
what
they're
he's
working
done-
on some ACT grades for him, and I mean, I know he's getting some D1 looks, and his step once he passes the line is ridiculous. His 0 to 60 at that point in time is just crazy. He
one of the best players in the
had
city.
a 78-yard touchdown run the first play of the game last week, and it was then he went on to score 4 more
Yeah.
that night. So it's been a lot of fun to watch him, and you're exactly right. I mean, high school there's just nothing like high school football.
No.
I got to talk to their broadcasting class. They have a team that does broadcasting, and I said, just doesn't matter, anything about it. Just tell stories. Just
Yep.
The kid that had to overcome whatever to do this, and the kid that had to do that. And there's just a ton of those stories in high school and college. It's been a lot of fun.
No, it is. Friday night, go to the games. I always like, when I was doing the broadcasting, finding that one burger joint. Like in pretty much every stadium, I got that place. You got that place you go to for that burger, no matter where in the city. And I even like Ray Peck, I'll even go to like the Pilot, the gas stations for the burritos. Very good burritos.
Yes,
I've never been
yes,
there.
yes, yes,
Gas
yes.
station burritos are very underrated, by the
Nice.
way, Ivan. But always find that magical place before you go call a game.
There was a Park Hill game that Jay and his big production truck and his big TV truck and everything and all the lights and everything, they were in this booth, and then me and my little one microphone and my little laptop, I was doing the internet broadcast in the other booth, and I walked over and there's just hamburger wrappers flying,
Yeah.
and it was something to see. It was
You
a
know what we should
real
do?
high class operation.
Well, high school's changed so much. It used to be when I played, it'd be like maybe the game of the week when it was Metro Sports. Now it's been Spectrum. Now and Time Warner Cable. Before that, it'd be like one game of the week. And then the radio would do, say, 810 and 610 would do some things. But it's changed so much now with the internet broadcasting. Almost
10,
everybody's
15
got
games,
their own.
And they got broadcasting classes that learn to do
And these
it.
press boxes have become a lot more condensed.
Yes,
Because
they do.
because it's not just the 2 coaching staffs in there anymore. It's a ton of media.
Yeah.
So media is never covered. And I like it. I mean, I don't like when kind of media companies drop out of the high school football race, which we have seen with different media outlets. But it's always something. It's a market that's there, and it's not going away.
Chris, what we should do is just jump in the LC Hamburgers truck sometime. Just go broadcast one of your games from the.
We could do it,
hamburger
Rogue.
truck.
We could do it from the parking lot.
we
We could
could-
just say, well, that looks like a 20-yard bomb, and
We
the
could-
crowd's cheering.
We
Let's
could
do it.
broadcast and eat at the same
Oh,
time. man.
that's
It'd be,
way
it'd
more
be
fun.
heaven.
Let's
I
go to
love
a
it.
game. Let's go to
I
see shooting.
love it.
We should do
Great
that.
idea.
Hey, tonight we are sponsored by Platte Valley Dental Care, you guys. Call 816-858-2027 to schedule your family's appointment with Dr. Stacy and Dr. Trent Blaha at Platte Valley Dental Care. They'll treat you like family because they are family. They educate their patients on the importance of dental health and how it affects the rest of your body, offering the highest possible care to children and adults. Check out their online scheduling at pvdentalcare.com. Thank you to Dr. Stacy for being a loyal Landmark Live sponsor, and she's a big Platte County Pirate fan.
Let me get that number down before I leave because I need a good dentist.
Well, there you go, 2027, man. Take that with you.
I will.
All right, man. Hey, and so
Seriously, I chew tobacco.
yeah,
I saw
you-
you.
I saw you
Yeah,
putting
yeah.
a dip in before the show,
it
man.
is. Yeah.
Let's
Well, they won't yell at you. They'll just
No, I'm sure.
casually
Yeah,
explain.
casually explain. Now we've talked a little high school. Let's step up now. Chris is alum. You're a Mizzou alum, so
I'm
let's
a
talk,
Mizzou alum.
Let's talk Mizzou versus
Well,
Alabama
let's-
this weekend, man.
Well, damn it,
Come on, man.
you get sucked in.
Let's talk lightning delays.
You get sucked in, and then whatever the hell that was last week, and then I'm still watching the lightning and the rain. I've never seen that one Chiefs game. Is the only other time I've seen
Seahawks,
rain
yeah.
like that, and then all the way to the end, and we lost the game. How does that happen?
Well, there was time left
or
on the clock.
can you even? Do you just write that entire game off, or not?
It's tough for Missouri because I felt that Georgia, they were outmatched in that game. They were
Yeah,
off to such
yeah.
a nice roll, 3-0, and then Georgia comes in. And Georgia's a good football team. But Missouri, they lost that game of 14 points. It wasn't like they're totally blown out. But South Carolina was a game they got to win. I mean, that's a game that you have to go on the road in the SEC. South Carolina is not a juggernaut. Matter of fact, they're using a fifth-year quarterback because Jay Binkley was down. Missouri ran the ball well. That was a good
Ran the
sign
ball
for
great.
them because that's something against Alabama they're going to have to do. It's got to be Crockett. It's got to be Roundtree. It's got to be Beatty. It's going to have to be a ground and pound, and then have Drew Lock surprise them from time to time. The only problem is Alabama's averaging 56 points a game. No team in SEC history has done that through the first 5 games like Alabama has. They are absolutely steamrolling people.
There was an article today, and I think it was a little bit of a troll job, but it was some national writer that says, are Alabama's games too easy and not preparing them for the playoffs? And I was like, well, I mean, what are you going to do? It's Alabama, you know?
Alabama's on a different level this year. Tua is an unbelievable
Yeah.
quarterback. As a matter of fact, I think he's the Heisman frontrunner at this point. And keep in mind, his numbers would be a lot better if he was playing the whole game. But when you're up
You
by
gotta take
50,
him out in the third quarter.
yeah, when you're up by 40 or 50, which I think he's still a front runner at this point. I would definitely put him up there. This is a guy that won the national title for him. That was a move by Saban in that title game. Mm-hmm. You've got your quarterback that had 2 losses, and you replace him by a guy like Tua, which I don't think plays mop-up duty for Alabama with the new rules, because the new rules are you can play up to 4 games, keep your red shirt. I think Saban might have saved him a little bit and then used him at the end just to make sure that he's still a freshman this year, but he played some mop-up duty last year because the rules were different. So I think that I think that the college football rules with the four games you can play are going to change how teams play, including Missouri.
Yeah, it's a shame that Drew Lock isn't having the season that we wanted Drew Lock to have, and it's, I mean, here we are, Missouri fans again, just kind of waiting for X fees. I mean, we can't even. I guess we could wait till basketball season.
Can Barry
Let's
Odom
have
get
a
quarterbacks like Gary Pinkel? Because that's one thing Pinkel always did. Going back to Washington as offensive coordinator, with Don James, he had Chris Chandler and Mark Brunell. I mean, guys that played in the league, then Brad Smith and Blaine Gabbert
quarterbacks
and
and
Chase
defensive
Daniel.
linemen. Yeah.
Gary Pinkel was really good, and he's the one that recruited Drew Lock. So he knew quarterbacks and bringing quarterbacks in. So that's the key for Barry Odom going forward. You've got to have that quarterback position.
I still think Locke gets drafted. I still think he
Oh,
plays
he's
on Sundays.
probably, he
and
might be a top 10 pick. I
Yeah,
mean, they're
yeah.
talking top 5 with him. I mean, look at Josh Allen last year with Wyoming. Very down year compared to the year before, but Josh Allen still goes in the
the
first
tools
round.
are still the tools. You
Yeah.
know, and he's got we've seen him for years have those tools.
And Kite Riding was the number 1 quarterback in the SEC, you know, coming out last year. And I know that other publications have had. Heck, I saw one of the guys on NFL Network, and I know the name, I can't remember right now, compared him to Patrick Mahomes.
Oh, yeah.
And this is before Mahomes got rolling. But that arm strength, they love the arm strength and a little bit of the mobility. Like Mahomes is not a runner. He's got mobility, but not a typical runner that you would expect. And I think that with Drew Lock, get the right quarterback coach, and this guy can do something.
Well, I you know, we mentioned Mahomes. I think we were on the show 5 weeks ago, and I asked you the question.
Yeah.
Is this guy worth the hype? And we've got our answer. He's worth the hype,
Yeah.
plus the hype, plus the hype, plus the hype.
Yeah.
I haven't seen this type of NFL hype around. They're moving games to spotlight him.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. I guess my question to you is, when he does maybe come in under par, or around par for a game, which he kind of did last week. He didn't play super well last week. What's that going to look like? I mean, the Chiefs are going to lose a game or two this year. I mean,
Yeah. Well,
what does that do to the hype bubble?
I think Andy Reid can finally open up that playbook. I think the playbook was a little bit limited to what he could do with Alex Smith. I mean, he made the best of Alex Smith. Alex Smith had the best years of his career under Andy Reid, but something was always missing. And this whole up-tempo style and a quarterback that can make all the throws is something we're not used to with Andy Reid. And he is putting the Chiefs on the spotlight because you think about the town like Green Bay, the market size it is. If it wasn't for Brett Favre and Aaron Rodgers, I don't think anybody talked about Green Bay. But now you talk about Green Bay. It's the smallest market in the NFL, but they're talked about a lot because of Aaron Rodgers. Well, Kansas City is the same way. Kansas City's like the Colts with Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning put the Indianapolis Colts in the spotlight. Yeah. And Andrew Luck did to some extent before he hurt and he came back and has a great Twitter account. But but it's the spotlight is on Kansas City because of the quarterback. Yeah. And, you know, Ben Roethlisberger, all that parts have changed with Pittsburgh, but one constant has been Tom Brady in the offensive skill positions. Yeah, Gronk will go in the Hall of Fame, but finding another skill position player that won a ring that's going to the Hall of Fame. You can't use Randy Moss because he didn't win a ring with the Patriots. They went undefeated, but they didn't win a ring. He was the one constant. So hopefully the Chiefs have their guy to where all these parts might move around, but your quarterback will be the same with Patrick Mahomes.
Hey guys, if you're just tuning in, you are watching Landmark Live. It's a production of the Platte County Landmark newspaper. Chris Kamler, Ivan Foley, and our friend Jay Binkley of 610 Sports. And I tell you what, we moved on from Mizzou there before. I wanted to ask you guys. I see Vegas has Alabama favored by 28. Which way are you thinking that's going to roll?
Take Bama.
Take Bama
Take
minus
Bama.
the 28.
Take
there's your
Bama.
betting advice for colleges.
And they're home.
Points. And they're home. This has all the makings of
Of a roll tide.
of the quarterback being pulled in the third quarter. It just has all the makings.
Once they sink their teeth into you,
53-22. You know, I mean,
And
it's just
that's a Saturday night game, right? Isn't it prime time? Prime time?
The only way Missouri, I think, can hang, at least for the half, is if they can run. You know, if Crockett had a great game, Missouri had, 250 yards, 58 yards rushing against South Carolina. If they can get Beatty, which is a talent as a freshman, and Roundtree and Crockett, if they can run the football, give Drew Lock some time, they could maybe hang around a half with Alabama. Alabama's had its games where it doesn't blow people away. This year they are, which is different because Alabama would beat you by 14, 15, whatever it was, because Nick Saban never really put his foot, you know, on the gas. And with Gary Pinkel, it was his buddy from Kent State that played with him and GA'd there at Kent State. So Nick Saban and Gary Pinkel, good friends. I think he would take it easier, but there's not that relationship with Barry Odom.
no.
And but there is that relationship with Pinkel, which, by the way, is going to that game.
And and Nick Saban is genuinely one of the guys that always seems to cover when he has to cover. So I don't know if he looks at the lines before the game, but Pinkel was the same way. Pinkel would take it just up to the line, maybe a couple of points extra, and then he'd back it off. So he was always a good betting coach.
Tough road trip.
Pete Carroll did that when he was at USC.
Pete
Carroll watched.
yeah.
I know he watched those lines. I don't know if he does it in the pros, but when he was at USC, he was notorious for wanting to cover.
Brent Musburger.
Yeah. Guys, hey, we got a big announcement coming up from Bink here shortly about his radio career, so stay tuned for that. And of course, everybody's going to have an NFL lock of the week, right? That's why
Yeah,
everybody.
you got
that's
it.
why all you folks are tuning in. Hey, what's Kamler's lock of the week going to be? That's what you're here, right? Let me give you another word for
I
it.
lost my house the last time I came.
No,
Yeah,
you
we all
did
did.
not.
Yeah,
no,
yeah,
you
yeah,
did
we
not.
all
You
have.
lost your garage, maybe. But, hey,
I don't live in Platte County anymore. I didn't move. I can't.
you're one of the homeless men in Platte County.
That's right.
Dr. Stacy and Dr. Trent Blaha at Platte Valley Dental Care will treat you like family because they are. It's a mother-son dental team educating their patients on the importance of dental health and how it affects the rest of your body. The office accepts many insurance plans and offers an in-house discount plan to make dental procedures affordable. Their professional team will be helpful and compassionate through your dental procedures. Check out their online scheduling at pvdentalcare.com or call them at 816-858-2027. Thank you, Dr. Stacy Blaha. Bink, so you got the Chiefs this weekend.
Yep.
On the road at New England.
Yep.
Give us a scouting report on this matchup.
You know what, though, man, I look at this thing, and, last year they played the Patriots' first game. So Andy Reid had a full offseason to get ready for the Patriots. And so did Belichick. So I look at the advantage, and a guy like Andy Reid can match wits possibly with Belichick when he's got the whole offseason. The problem is the Patriots have been off. They played that Thursday night game, so they were off Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. They've had a couple more days than the Chiefs to prepare, 3 more days really to prepare. And the Chiefs luckily had a home game and went on the road on Sunday against the Jags. So it's awful tough to beat Belichick when it's a week. When you have a week to match wits with him, which I think is the best football coach in the country. But when you give Andy a whole offseason, it's much different. So I still like the Chiefs in this one. I just do. There's just something about this team that I like. And if Alex Smith can go in there with the weapons the Chiefs have and win the game, I like the Kansas City Chiefs in this one. I think it's going to be a close game. I think it's going to be a dogfight with the Patriots. But there's something about this team that I don't think it matters where you play. I mean, look at Pat Mahomes. He ended that curse in Pittsburgh. He's won twice in Denver, which is unbelievable that he's got. His first, he beat the
First
Chargers
5
on
games.
the road in Denver. I mean,
He had 2 wins.
He had one more in Denver than he had Arrowhead, so it's unbelievable. But I think this is a different type of team that Belichick is used to playing with the Chiefs, and a different up-tempo style. So I do like the Chiefs in this game. I know it sounds stupid because Andy Reid's had less time than Bill Belichick, but I think actually the Chiefs have more talent on offense than the Patriots. Now, defensively, they're not good. They're not good. But, giveaway takeaways, the Chiefs, I think, 6th in the NFL. In the giveaway takeaways, like 6th or 7th in sacks this year. And I know Houston and passing, are hurt, so things are changing. They signed Nate Orchard and bring in Frank Zombo back. But they've got, it reminds me of the Saints when they won that Super Bowl. The total defense, they weren't very good, but they were good at taking the ball away. And hopefully the Chiefs can just do enough to give you a few more possessions, flip that script a few times, put Mahomes out on that field. But I'll tell you, if a team like the Jaguars that didn't run the ball very much, only 17 times against the Chiefs, Denver to me kind of laid that blueprint. And they weren't good enough to finish the job. But running the football, even though the Chiefs had time of possession on them, but these teams that'll flip the time of possession and keep Mahomes and Hill and Kelsey on the sideline, those are the teams that watch out for the Chiefs.
And don't you think that'll be New England's game plan this week?
I think so. I think it's time of possession.
Try to run it and keep Mahomes off the field. I mean, that's what I would do.
That's what Pittsburgh did in the playoffs a couple years ago. They had the ball 10, 11 minutes more than the Chiefs did. And the Titans, Alex Smith only had the ball like 12 times in the second half last year against the Titans in the playoffs. The script is use your offense as your defense. Keep Mahomes and company on the sideline. I think that's the thing the Chiefs will have to worry about the most.
See, I think with a one-possession game, Chiefs could easily be 2-3. I mean, let's be totally honest.
Denver
with
could
the
have beat
defense that they've got. Denver could have beat them. Roethlisberger should have beat them. They should have beat them. Bortles should have beat them last week. That's my biggest fear is if you could be up 21 in the fourth quarter and let Tom Brady have 4 possessions and you're going to lose by a touchdown. That's.
It was good getting that stop by him.
I was at that game in Pittsburgh. Roethlisberger just
right.
that second quarter just annihilated the Chiefs defense, and it was quick too. It was boom, 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 and that's my biggest fear. So I probably got to go with Brady just because he's at home, and if it's a one possession game, you got to go with Brady. I think.
Didn't you go to the Pirates games too?
I did.
Did you go to
We got
Primani
swept.
Brothers? Did you have a sandwich at
Went to Primani
All right, there
Brothers.
you go. All right.
Went down to the
All right.
strip. Did
You
a bunch
did
of
it all.
stuff.
All
It was
right.
great. Yeah,
All
we
right.
did good.
So you were fed well.
What was
Yes,
on the
yes,
menu
sir.
there? Just
Different strip.
Oh,
Different type
okay.
of
Oh,
strip.
there's
They
so
have
much,
an
yeah.
old, kind of an old Westportian
Oh.
type place where went to some old diner. God, it was great. Oh, it was a good time. Good trip.
I'm going to go with the under in that Chiefs game because I think New England's going to try to come out and just run it and keep Mahomes off the
It
field.
could be a low-scoring game, and we're
Yeah.
thinking high scoring. But you know
Yeah.
what? You know what football does? It's expect the unexpected.
Yes.
Right.
And you know, Denny Matthews talks about that all the time with the Royals. 'Cause you'll see a great pitching matchup, and it'll be in a 10-9 game.
Yeah.
Expect the unexpected. I mean, this could be a low-scoring game
Well,
between
Vegas
Chiefs
got the
and
line, the
Patriots.
total set at 59, I think.
Yeah, that's a ridiculous.
I think
over.
it is,
That,
too.
that's
I
a,
think
that's
if I-
ridiculous.
It could be. It could actually be a low-scoring game, man. Just flip the script.
Boy,
And
but what kind of a game would it be if the over is 65 or 7? It's just going to be an air raid show.
Yeah, and you see New England's defense, they look slow to me if you've watched any New England games, that their linebackers cannot get to the edge. I don't know, but I would, if I'm Belichick, I'm going to run the ball, try to keep my own defense off the field against Mahomes because Mahomes could tear them up.
It's such a game of space, and I know that TCU, Gary Patterson's in a paper down in Dallas. He's watching Chiefs films to get ready for Texas Tech. See, I'm not kidding. The Chiefs have run a ton of Texas Tech plays.
It's a big college.
Because
outfit.
how did this work for you with Cliff Kingsbury? Which, by the way, when he gets canned, I think he'll end up with the Chiefs on the coaching staff at some place. Because Andy Reid respects what he does offensively. He worked with Mahomes, made Mahomes the guy he is, and he was almost fired last year. I mean, the Lubbock crowd getting a little tense, and things have tightened up for him. The 3-2 now, they got off to a good start, but TCU, I think they play tonight. TCU
Yeah.
and Texas Tech, but they watched the Chiefs to get ready for
That's
Texas
funny.
Tech. It's a different game. It's about space now. It's about the wide open offense. It's something we haven't seen in the NFL for a long
And
time.
you can't even breathe on a quarterback anymore. So
No.
I mean, you've got all that time in the backfield,
And he can get rid of the ball so quickly and flip it with his wrist and whatever, so he can neutralize a good pass rush.
Well, Bink, let's talk a little bit about your radio career now. You've got a big announcement to make. You were doing the Royals pregame, postgame for 610 after the All-Star break till the end of the season, right? And now tell us what you're going to be doing.
Starting Monday, a night show. So I'm back to where it all began. Be called Bink at Night, starting on Monday, and it goes Monday through Friday. And then it'll be Sundays when the Chiefs aren't playing at noon. So I'm looking forward to it. It's back to a lot of college football. Gary Pink will be a weekly guest. A lot of Chiefs talk with a lot of the Arrowhead Pride people, and just high school football mixed in. So looking forward
I know
to
when
it.
you had the night show at the other station, you had a very dedicated, loyal football fan base that would, I mean, because you go, I mean, just
Bink knows hardcore
yeah,
football,
just
man.
listening to
He
you,
is hardcore.
you go 4 or 5 levels deeper than you're going to get on a normal sports talk show, and then that is, you got your truck drivers and you got your guys working nights, and all they want to do is eat up that.
I love it,
football.
man, because I met so many people. They like travel back and forth to St. Joe and stuff, and drive around. Met a guy today. He says, "Well, I can't listen to during the day, but I can listen at night and stuff like that." So, that's where I cut the garage. 3 guys in the garage. We were a night show, so back doing nights, and I love it.
You do a hell of a lot of preparation too, and you do a great job.
Thanks, man.
It'll be a great show.
It will be fun.
It'll be fun.
Yeah, basically 6 to 9 most nights, right?
6 to 9 most nights. Trez Paylor show, which is awesome because Trez is so good at what he does. 6 to 7 on Mondays, and I'll follow Arrowhead Pride on Tuesdays. But then Wednesday, full show. Friday, mix in a little local beer talk as well. So hitting all the bases that I like. High school football.
That's right.
Well, if you need Cameron and I to come on and help you out,
Yeah, we'll
sometime,
do the,
just- we'll have you in that beer.
Well,
show.
Cameron's up broadcasting games for a couple weeks.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Maybe
exactly.
more with the
Yeah,
playoffs.
Maybe more, absolutely.
Maybe you'll be going until Thanksgiving.
Could
yeah.
be.
Well, and Chris, you're doing some stuff for Park University now too. You want to talk about that?
Oh, that's right.
I need
Brockmire.
more side jobs. Yeah, so I'm filling in as the play-by-play. No, I'm sorry. I'm filling in as the PA voice for Park volleyball, Park soccer in the fall. This is fall now, right?
Yeah.
And then I'll be filling in for Park men's volleyball and Park basketball in the winter as PA voice. But what I'm really excited about is that they're going to let me be the play-by-play voice for the baseball and softball programs up there. So I'm really, really excited about that. Their women's volleyball team, and we'll talk more about it hopefully very, very soon on the show. Their women's volleyball team is ranked 1 in the country. They, up until 2 weeks ago, had not lost a set. They were 22-0 going into last week. They had not lost a set So that's 66 straight set wins, and they've only lost one set all year. They're completely undefeated. They're just a juggernaut. They've got 2 weeks left in the season, and then they're going to go into their postseason. So if you get a chance to go see Park play women's volleyball, it's a ridiculous night. It's a lot of fun. That arena, I'd never been in that arena before. It's intimate and goofy looking inside, and it's a really, really cool. So I'm getting to know. I'm an alum from Park, but I didn't spend a whole lot of time on campus. So I'm getting to learn a lot about the sports program up there, and there's a lot of good things. Their soccer, men's and women's soccer teams are good this year. So if you're up here, have a chance to get out, it's a good time, and it's cheap to get in. So.
And speaking of that, we're carrying that game. They're playing the 3rd-ranked team in the country next Thursday.
Really?
And we're carrying on our sister station, 1660. We're carrying the Park women's volleyball team.
Nice.
And the Park women's volleyball coach will
Is that-
be on my show
Is that
next
Thursday?
week. Thursday's game.
We're going to be down there.
We're going to be down there. I'm going to be doing PA that night.
we'll
We're
be
carrying
down.
it on
Very
1660.
nice.
Landmark live from Park University's volleyball game next
Yeah.
week. And it sounds like Binks people are going to be down there too. So
Be
And we're
talking
going to
to
be
Coach after a while.
interviewing a former Platte County Pirate, so
Awesome.
who is a freshman on the team. So very cool.
good stuff, guys. And hey, you know what? We've got NFL Locks of the Week coming up. So, don't go away. You're going to want to know how to make your investments this weekend. But one more time, I need to tell you about our sponsor, and that is Platte Valley Dental Care. Call 816-858-2027 to schedule your family's appointment with Dr. Stacy and Dr. Trent Blaha at Platte Valley Dental Care. They'll treat you like family because they are family. They educate their patients on the importance of dental health and how it affects the rest of your body, offering the highest possible care to children and adults. Check out their online scheduling at pvdentalcare.com. Whew, guys, are you ready? Did you do a little research this week for your lock of the week?
Very little, right over there. I did a little bit of research. Now I got to make sure that I remember which one it is.
Last time I had, when Brad was co-hosting 2 weeks ago, we didn't do a show last week, but the week before, he was looking at the lines while the
He
show
was,
going
yeah,
on. So,
that's good.
Yeah, that's so.
Well, my lock of the week, the line keeps changing, so I want to make sure that we stay on a consistent line.
Oh, with the last minute lines, I got it.
Well, I
Very
mean,
nice.
ESPN's got some with the NFL games and stuff, so I don't know which lines you want to go with.
I usually go by scoresandodds.com. is where
Okay, you want to do scores and odds?
Yeah.
All right, let's do that one then.
I'll start.
I go by the Westgate Superbook.
You-
it's where all my lines are at.
Pretty soon we're
I
going to
gotta
go
call
by
a guy.
eras.
Are you looking at VegasInsider.com right
Pretty
there?
soon, you're right. Pretty soon we are going to just drive down the street
When
and
gambling
place
is
our-
legal,
place
yeah.
our bets. Yeah.
we should
Oh, that'd be a
get one
great
here,
landmark
like-
live.
That'd be awesome.
All right, go for it. What's your lock of the
Man,
week, sir?
I'll start. Mine is going to be Chicago Bears minus.
Stop,
I
Bears.
was hoping to get it at 3, but I see today I think it went up to 3.5. Chicago minus 3.5 over Miami. The Bears are sneaky good, you guys. Their defense is very athletic, very tough, and of course you know they've got Khalil Mack rushing the quarterback. They're gonna make it rough on
Think so.
Tannehill. So I'm going to take the Bears minus 3.5 on the road at Miami. I don't normally like to take
Bears.
points on the road, but let's go Bears minus 3.5 and win $1 on that one. That's my lock of the week.
All right, my lock of the week. Put all your money, all your house money, on the Cleveland Browns at home, +1 over the LA Chargers. I love that pick. The Browns are just awful enough to pull off some sort of jacked up home win. It might go to overtime again
Yeah.
for the 3rd straight week. It won't be a tie. I take the Browns, take the extra point, and laugh all the way to the bank. The Chargers, I have no confidence in Phillip Rivers, haven't for years. He'll find some way to screw it up, even on the mistake by the lake. It's going to be take the Browns.
Chris Candler's Pay Your Mortgage pick of the week.
Pay your
with that one.
mortgage. There's not a lot of logic behind it, but you don't need logic for this.
Well, for you,
gambling.
scores and odds, 2.5 point spread the Cincinnati-Pittsburgh game.
Okay.
I'm going to take the Bengals.
Oh.
And I know Pittsburgh had that kind of rebound game last week against the Falcons where everything looked
They're
good.
not good.
But the Cincinnati Bengals and playing at home, and Cincinnati's been on a little bit of a roll. Not only that, but they're going to be in prime time against the Chiefs the following week. I like the Bengals to cover this week at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's a nice little rivalry between these two teams. We all remember Devontae Burfict getting cracked back by Juju Smith-Schuster last year. Very physical game that these two teams bring, so I'm going to go the Bengals over the Steelers. I know the Steelers won last week, but I'm not buying in 100%. Too many things going on extracurricular with that
Yeah,
team.
that Steelers team is in disarray. When the Chiefs left them, it was an entire week of just clubhouse drama, and
drama.
locker room drama. Antonio Brown walked out for a couple of days.
Drama. So I'm going Bengals, man.
Yeah.
I'm going
That's-
Bengals.
That's a team that I like that pick a lot.
No, I'm going Bengals. I can beat them by 3.
All right. So we've got Bears, Cleveland,
Browns,
Bengals.
Bengals. Bears, Browns,
Hey, we
Bengals.
got 3.
Three
We got
Bs.
Ohio covered.
3 Bs in a garage.
There you go. So summarize. We've covered the Pirates, Platte County Pirates.
Yeah.
We've covered Mizzou, and we've got Bink's new show announced for him, and of course he'll have a lot of listeners.
We
Just
did
check him out.
we did 30 minutes of Kyle Zimmer talk before the show.
Yeah, how about that?
So
We could wrap up with some Royals talk because Bink covered the Royals every day in the second half of the season. So Bink, wrap up the Royals season for us, buddy.
Well, it's a different team. It was a different team. 41 games under before the break, 5 games under after the break. They doubled their win total at home since they were very good at home.
They're very good.
And then they started playing a little better on the road. They'd struggle on the road, especially some of the pitchers like Keith Philmeyer. But he started to show better on the road. And not only that, but the Royals have a superstar in Adalberto Mondesi. And I'm buying the hype into him. He's been in the weight room. He goes in the training room now. It's a different deal. Ned started him every game down the stretch. This guy's power is unbelievable. He can hit home runs from the right side of the plate and the left side of the plate. And once he's batting second, that's his home. He's not the bottom of the order guy. He's got the power to be a cleanup hitter too. But his stolen bases are ridiculous. Ned thinks he could be a 60 to 80 stolen base guy. I'm buying that 100%. Whit Merrifield can maybe finish second in the American League in stolen bases, and Adalberto Mondesi might double him. He's that impressive. And Whit Merrifield, speaking of him, led the league in hits and stolen bases. It's only been done twice since World War II. It's unbelievable. And then Brad Keller will be in the mix for the American League Rookie of the Year. Won't win it, but he'll get some votes for that. But a lot of positive things going with the Royals. And keep in mind, this team you're seeing now is not the team you're going to see in a while once Khalil Lee comes up from Northwest Arkansas, Nicky Lopez from Omaha, and that group that won at Lexington. That's where a lot of the talent is. There was nights where 4, 5, 6, and 7 prospects for the Royals were all doing something. Home runs, stolen bases, getting wins as pitchers. They'll take a while. It'll be a couple years before they get up here, but I think the Royals in this division, Cleveland didn't cash in.
No.
All right, Cleveland had their chance. They didn't cash in with a very good team. Detroit's been floundering around. They don't know which direction they're going. The Twins were a playoff team, and then this year they sold 5 guys off before the trade deadline. If I'm a Twins fan, I'm a confused fan base. Which way are we going? The White Sox clearly in a rebuild. I think the White Sox are the team to watch in this division. And maybe the Kansas City Royals. I don't think next year, but in 2-3 years, I think the Royals will be right up there. Because you're dealing with the teams like the Cleveland Indians that at some point are going to have to go through a rebuild themselves because they didn't cash in ultimately winning that ring. Now their pitching staff's incredible. Clevenger and Trevor Bauer, Carrasco's guys are unbelievable. But you can't always keep people in towns like Cleveland and Kansas City. We know that.
Okay, 2-part question for you. How many more years does Ned hang on as manager? And when he finally lets go, who are they going to get? Who do you think they're going to groom? Or who are they grooming? Or will they go outside the organization and get somebody? What do you
It's
think?
a good question. The best news is Ned will probably give them the okay to go ahead and interview because people feel uncomfortable if they're interviewing for a job if there's already a current manager. They backstab them. But if Ned gives the okay to dig more like, hey, this is it for me, that's good news for the Royals. Keep an eye on a guy like Jason Kendall. It's been around the team, as a consultant and everything else. He could be a guy that people have talked about. Rolo Banez, possibly being a guy. We've seen so many of these. Carlos Beltran, a guy too that I think is an interest in managing. We've seen so many guys go from the playing field to being a manager. But I think Ned wants to take one for the team. He knows he was going to take a lot of losses this year. He knows his baseball reference was going to fill up with L's with this team. Mm-hmm. And it's unlike what John Gibbons was like in Toronto. Didn't want to go through a rebuild. Ned's for it. And I don't think Ned, he's kind of like that old Bill Snyder inning where he doesn't want to leave the program with it in desperation. He wants to leave it when it's up and ready to win. Because it's tough for a manager to come in and take the losses like Ned had to deal with this year.
Twice. Twice in his career he's had to do that with the Royals.
So I think he's kind of taken one for the team, but I'd say 1-2 years max. There's a possibility that they show some things next year that he comes back the following year, but I think maybe 1 year I would look for Ned this 2019 season before he finally calls it a career. And I mean, think about it. The guy fell out of a deer stand, lost what, 30, 40 pounds. Still showed up to Fan Fest. They weren't expecting him to show up to Fan Fest. He does.
Wow.
I was in spring training in 2012, and he had some kind of medical procedure. Should have been off, but he didn't. He was there at work.
The next day, yeah.
Yeah, it was the same day.
Yeah.
It makes it tough for a guy to have the flu or a hangnail and say, "Skip, I don't want to play," when your manager is a freak of resiliency. So I think he takes one for the team, but I'm not sure exactly which direction they'll go.
Real quick, everybody, World Series picks.
Yeah, I mean, do the Red Sox just roll the rest of the way out? I mean, they don't seem to be stopped by anybody so far.
You'd like to think so. I wouldn't count the Houston Astros out, though, because it's a team that feels disrespected because they were playing in the afternoon, right? New York and Boston. Houston's got to understand. But that pitching, that bullpen of the Astros might be right up there with the Brewers. The Brewers have really 3 shutdown guys, but I think the bullpen of the Houston Astros, it's going to be tough. And it depends on David Price. David Price is the guy that they're going to go with, I think, in Game 2. And he's just not been good in the postseason. So that's a game that Boston needs. But I wouldn't count the Astros out. And I'm going Brewers in the National League. I mean, the Dodgers at some point, and I know Kershaw was going to get the ball the first game. He was a little bit nifty. He was a second game starter. But I'm going with the mojo of Moose and Kane and Yelich and those guys for the Brewers and that bullpen they have. So I'm actually looking for I can't really decide Houston or Boston. I'm kind of on the fence on that one. But if you were to ask me, I'd probably Houston at this point, just because of their consistency with their bullpen.
Who you got, Chris?
I like the Dodgers. I like Kershaw.
Oh, really?
I just think that I've been reading that book by Molly Knight. I forget the name of it, but it's an outstanding book about how Kershaw and this Dodger team that is now, this was like 3 or 4 years ago that the book came out, how this team was built, and it's just been built with a lot of money and a lot of pressure and a lot of pressure to win. And I think magic in a bottle was captured in 15 and 14 with those boys, but I'm not sure that it can not sure it's that easy to recreate that magic.
They're just too inconsistent because they got on such a roll after the All-Star break. They kind of went in the tank a little bit. I mean, they had to really stretch to even get in the postseason. So maybe a team like that understands that the writing's on the wall and they need to win. Yeah. But there's just something about the Brewers and the magic.
It's fun. They're fun to watch.
They are fun.
They remind you a lot of the Royals.
It reminds you a lot of the Royals. Just kind of the enthusiasm, the love for playing Aguilar and what he's doing. And I mean, and Yelich, I think he's the best player on the planet right now to finish the second half of the season. So it's going to be tough to beat. But I don't know. There's something about Houston's rotation and in that bullpen that's going to make them a very tough out.
I'm going Houston over the Dodgers in the World Series. I think it'll be a good series. Houston, a little bit underrated as far as their pitching staff, I think. I mean, you're the first one I've really heard pump up their bullpen.
Well, Verlander, the bullpen in Houston's really good. Not only that, but McCullers.
But remember in 15 when the Royals, anytime the Royals got into the Houston bullpen, it was fun. But that
different
times
deal.
have changed for the Astros.
Different deal.
They fixed the last 3 years.
But the Red Sox are so good. I mean, on paper, that team is just ridiculous.
That's my pick as the Red Sox to just steamroll. I think they hit a stride, and I think it's. I mean, this was predetermined for months. I think them just to roll and I think your Red Sox are putting rings on again.
Well, there you go, guys. We're going to wrap it up. Another episode of Landmark Live complete. This is a production of the Platte County Landmark newspaper. You knew that, Chris, right?
The greatest.
Yeah.
Weekly newspaper in
Platte County's leading newspaper. It says
That's right.
So right
Except
there.
no substitutes.
These banners do not lie.
Award-winning.
He's trying to keep that Missouri River in the banks.
That's right. Yeah, Bink is down to where the water is rising rapidly. So you get home and sandbag.
It's pretty close, man. I mean, it's pretty close to that edge.
Throwing out some sandbags around the garage tonight?
Yeah, I might. Yeah.
All right. But we will see you next week, guys. We'll be down at Park University for Chris's other side job. And he'll be announcing, and we'll be interviewing some Park University volleyball players and having a good time with our friends down at Park University. In the meantime, we thank you, Jay Binkley, for coming on again.
No!
Yes, we do. And Chris, we'll see you next week, right? You'll be there? All right, we'll see you guys. See you next Thursday night. Thank you.